In this part of the chapter, we'll be discussing about greenhouse effect and we'll be ending our discussion of air pollution with this. You must be familiar with what is greenhouse effect. We'll be delving a little deep into the topic and we'll be also looking at certain measures that we can take in order to reduce the carbon emission, which is the chief cause of the greenhouse effect. Now, how is the earth getting warm? You know that the atmosphere that the air is surrounded with, the earth is surrounded with, is it protects it protects our earth, it protects the temperature of our earth like a blanket. It during the days it does not let the earth get too warm or too hot, and during nights it prevents the escape of certain gases that render the temperature of our earth warm, all right, so that in nights the planet does not freeze in the absence of sunlight during the night time. Okay, so the sun's rays, it warms the earth's surface, and a part of the radiation that falls back on the earth is absorbed by it and a part is reflected back into space. So like you can see here in this animation, the sun rays when they hit the surface of the earth, some of it they are reflected back and some of it they are absorbed by the atmosphere of our earth. All right, so what happens in greenhouse effect is that some greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, mainly carbon monoxide, methane, etc., they are trapping the extra heat, means they are trapping also the surplus amount of heat that is not required by our earth. So the earth can say sustain by trapping a certain quantity of heat, okay, but the increase in the amount of greenhouse gases, it is actually leading to the absorption of more amount of gases, or the more amount of heat that is required for just the earth to stay warm enough. All right, so as a result, what will happen? As a result, the earth will get warm, okay, because ultimately the greenhouse gases, they are absorbing more heat than what is required, means they are also absorbing the surplus heat and they are not radiating it back into the space, they are not reflecting it back into the outer space. So a part of this reflected radiation is trapped by the atmosphere, and the trapped radiations is further warms the earth. Okay, so this trapping of the radiation by the atmosphere with the gases present in the atmosphere, it is very important. That is what the greenhouse effect is all about. Okay, but the increase in the amount of greenhouse gases will eventually increase the temperature of the earth, will eventually increase the amount of heat that is being trapped, and thus the overall temperature of the earth would increase. So this, the name greenhouse effect was named by certain greenhouse glasses that are basically there. They are constructed for keeping nurseries, for keeping plants, especially in colder areas. Okay, so if you have seen a greenhouse in a nursery or elsewhere, you recall that the glasses, the as you can see here in this picture, the walls and the roof is made up of glasses, and these glasses, they do not let the heat radiate outside of the structure. All right, they trap heat, they do not let it radiate outside. So if this is the roof of the greenhouse, and if this is the sun's radiation that is reaching, so a part of it would get reflected definitely. And what this glass does is that this glass absorbs more of heat of the sun's radiation and it reflects less. Okay, I'm repeating, when the sun's radiation, it hits the surface of the glass, it absorbs more heat and it radiates less, or it reflects back less. Okay, so when this is happening, of course, the structure inside this glass house, or the structure inside this greenhouse, why the term greenhouse? Because there are plants that are there. Okay, there are plants that are there inside this glass house, so therefore the term greenhouse. So the same kind of phenomenon, the same kind of activity is being performed by certain gases in our atmosphere, like I have been explaining you in the previous slide and in the previous chapters as well. Okay, so this is how the trapped radiation is absorbed by the gases present in an atmosphere, and it does not, the gases, they do not radiate a lot of heat. Okay, and naturally, if you increase the amount of these gases present in an atmosphere, then there will be an increase in the amount of heat that is being trapped, or simply let me write it here, increase or wait due to lack of space. I'm going to erase this. Wait. If there is increase in the greenhouse gases, okay, I hope you have understood what the concept of greenhouse is. I have been explaining you in the previous chapters of chemistry as well, and I am basically reiterating the same concept. So I hope this is clear to you, right? So the greenhouse gases, an increase in the amount of this greenhouse gas will naturally increase the amount of heat that is being trapped inside the atmosphere. Heat trapped in the atmosphere would also increase. The upper arrow is a symbolization of increment. Okay, so an increase in the amount of greenhouse gases will result in the increase in the amount of heat that is being trapped in the atmosphere, hence rendering the temperature of the earth warm. All right, so that is why it's called the greenhouse effect. Is greenhouse effect good or bad? Greenhouse effect is definitely good, because had there not been any machinery or any other structure or any other mechanism, or whatever term I may use it, all right, then the earth would have been a cold planet in the absence of sunlight. Because if there would have been say if this is your earth and if this is your sun, all right, and if the sun's radiation, all of the radiation were being reflected back into the outer space, then naturally there would be no heat that is trapped inside the atmosphere of the earth, right? And the earth would remain a cold planet, all right. But the atmosphere of the earth, that is the structure, the gases present in the atmosphere, that works like a mechanism, and that works in favor of trapping or absorbing some of the heat that is being reflected, that is being hitting the surface of the earth. So of course heat, it is getting still radiated, the heat, it is still getting reflected, but because of the presence of greenhouse gases, because of the presence of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, there is some absorption of heat as well. Okay, there is some absorption of heat as well, some absorption, or you can say trapping of heat as well, and that is how the earth is saved from turning into a cold planet in the absence of sunlight during night times. All right, so yes, greenhouse effect is good, but now it does threaten life. So you must have heard of this phrase, like that everything is okay in moderate amount. If you an excess of everything is bad, basically. All right. So if you're taking something in moderate amounts, you're doing something in moderate amount, that's good. But if you keep on doing an excess of it, right, or if you keep addicting yourself to that thing over and over again, it may harm you. So the greenhouse effect, the greenhouse gases, they were good. They were helping the earth from turning into a cold planet. But now it threatens life, because now there has been an increase in the amount of greenhouse gases. Okay, and this excess gases means, like I had explained you in the previous chapter, in the previous slide. Sorry, let me turn back to that. Yes, sorry. This increase in the amount of greenhouse gases is going to lead to an increase in the amount of heat that is being trapped in the atmosphere, therefore rendering the temperature, overall temperature of the earth, higher or warmer. So excess of carbon dioxide in the air is one of the gases responsible for this effect. All right, and how this carbon dioxide content rise in the atmosphere? One is, of course, that vehicles, they emit carbon dioxide, all right, from the industrial power plants. Okay, deforestation, basically all those causes of air pollutants that we had seen in one of the previous slides earlier, that all of them more or less would be the reason for the carbon dioxide increase in the carbon dioxide content in the atmosphere. So it is released due to human activities, okay, such as deforestation, mainly deforestation, because plants are the only um, natural living beings that are absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, be it from man-made activities, or be it from be it from the natural carbon dioxide that is already existing in the atmosphere. So plants are the only natural living organisms that are absorbing, and they are resulting into the decrease in the carbon dioxide. So if you cut down forests, if you cut down trees, naturally there will be more carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere, right? So plants utilize CO2 for photosynthesis, thereby decreasing its amount. But deforestation or decrease in these forests, in these woods, is leading to an increase in the amount of CO2 in the air, and therefore because of this, the CO2 amount is increasing in the atmosphere. Okay, so you can see here this picture, it speaks a lot, because on the green side the grass is greener, right? Or there are more forests, okay, but the left hand side indicates deforestation. All right, and you can see here that the area which is deforested, which has no forest extent, that area is filled with dirt, it's filled with smoke, and the air is polluted, whereas the greener side, I'm sorry, or the, yes, the greener side or the right side is you can see here in this picture that it's very sunny, it's very bright, it's very full of life. Okay, so it's very important to plant trees, and it's very important that uh, human activities leading to deforestation is stopped. Global warming, you must have understood, we all this discussion, all this reiteration has been leading to this term, global warming, increase in the temperature of our earth. All right, and how is global warming happening? Global warming is majorly happening because of greenhouse effect and other man-made activities that are more or less unleashing and increasing the amount of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. Okay, greenhouse effect, sorry, not effects. Yes, so the amount of CO2 is increasing, and increasing the greenhouse gas, it is trapping more heat and it's not allowing to escape that trapped heat into the outer space, rendering the temperature high. And this temperature that is being increased, even though it is by very small quantities, like zero point 0.5 to 2 degrees Celsius. So even though it's very small, it may seem very small, but the effect that this overall increase in the temperature is causing is not at all small, because you can observe all around you, right? Even in months like September, October, even in months where fall was supposed to happen in many areas of India as well, especially if you're living in the northern side. The season, the so-called season such as autumn, it comes very late now, right? And when it comes, it is often accompanied by a spontaneous occurrence of winter. There is no very distinct division now. Earlier there used to be the months of September, October, November, that used to be an autumn season, right? But now you would not call it so, because if you happen to reside in northern parts of India, you can, not the uppermost, but the areas such as say Delhi, say Bihar, Jharkhand, UP, etc., West Bengal. West Bengal, though it doesn't happen because it's near the coast, but anyway, the other parts. Okay, so you must have observed this, that the seasons, they are not so distributed equally now because of this global warming, because the temperature is so high all the time that you can still feel that humidity in the air, and the abnormal climate, the abnormal weather changes, the abnormal rainfall pattern, and all of this is the cause of global warming. So when you talk about the consequences of global warming that we'll be discussing, we will come to that. The greenhouse gases is, of course, gases such as carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. Apart from that, oxides of nitrogen, oxides of sulfur is basically more of your air pollutant. But when you're talking about greenhouse gases like nitrous oxide, it is, it traps heat more. Okay, and water vapor, H2O, that is also a very important greenhouse gas. So is methane, your CH4. Okay, so greenhouse gases, mainly carbon dioxide, water vapor, nitrous oxide, and methane. Okay, and yes, what I was talking about, let's continue that. Consequences of global warming, that this increase in the overall temperature is not just causing an abnormal rainfall pattern or an imbalance in the rainfall pattern, but it is also leading to the melting of the glaciers, to the melting of the snow-capped mountains, therefore increasing the water level. Okay, and this can cause an a slight moderation is okay, but if that moderation is is increased to such an extent that it is wreaking havoc on plant and animal life, then you wouldn't call it moderate. You would call it an adverse effect. Okay, you would call it an adverse effect. You would call it a drastic effect. You would call it harmful, basically. Okay, so global warming could result in wide range of effects on rainfall patterns, on agriculture. All right, because of agriculture mostly depends on rainfall pattern. So if you have abnormal rainfall pattern, it will going to be reflected on the kind of crops that you are reaping. Okay, and definitely on forests. Okay, deforestation, plants and animals. All right, because the plants, although in the very cold or in the polar areas, there are very fewer plants and fewer animals, but still there are plants and animals living there. So if the temperature there is as well is rising, if the overall increase in the temperature is leading to the melting of glacier and melting of the snow-capped mountains, then animals such as polar bear, for example, they are losing their natural habitat, right? They are losing their homes. Okay, so it can have a very, very adverse effect. Majority of people living in areas which are threatened by global warming are in Asia. Global warming is a serious threat. I'm repeating it over and over and over again. Even a minor increase in temperature, such as zero point 0.5 to 2 degrees Celsius, it can wreak havoc. It is very egregious. It is very harmful. It has a very drastic effect. It has a very adverse effect. Okay, Celsius by the end of the century, a level considered. Yeah, sorry, the complete sentence. The temperature may rise by more than 2 degrees Celsius by the end of this century, this 21st century, and the level, it's still dangerous. But imagine if this is the bracket, and if this increases more than 2 degrees Celsius, then imagine what what is going to happen. This is very, very depressing to even think about, but you have to think about it if you want to, if not just you, all of us, if we want to preserve our planet Earth. Okay, so to do that, there is a Kyoto Protocol where important leaders of important nations, they got together and decided that no, something is supposed to be done about the carbon emission. Means because carbon, be it in methane, be it in carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, carbon is a chief air pollutant and carbon is a chief cause of greenhouse effect. So if we are able to control our carbon emission, then there may be a very drastic decrease in the greenhouse effect. Okay, so many countries, they reached an agreement to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases, especially carbon. Okay, because carbon we can control. How? By keeping a tab on the gases that are being released by our vehicles, and by treating the air of industries before they are being released into the atmosphere. The Kyoto Protocol was such an agreement, such an convention, and it was an international treaty which was adopted in Kyoto, Japan, on 11th December 1997. So the name Kyoto Protocol is because of the city this agreement, this meeting, this convening was held in. That was in Kyoto, in Japan, and was held on 11th of December 1997, and was entered into action, into force on 16 February 2005. Okay, yes, this increase in the Earth's temperature by even as like the same point that I have been repeating, that as little as zero point 0.5 degrees Celsius can have a serious effect. And like you can see over here, this polar bear, if all of the ice is melted and turned into water, then where will this polar bear live, right? It's their natural habitat. Okay, it's the place where they are born into, right? So if we live here and if we are, say, the very next moment we say that we are not getting an access to a clean air, not getting an access to clean hygienic food or clean drinking water, then we may have, and actually we have unleashed that Pandora box upon us, that we are in that state where people, privileged people like us, we are getting, but many underprivileged, many poor people who cannot afford clean drinking water, that is a luxury for them. All right, so remember that wherever the places where you can, you can do your bit to reduce air pollution, to save water, and to save the earth however you can. Please do that. Okay, Gangotri glacier in the Himalayas has started melting because of global warming. It's a glacier from which our river Ganga originates. So you know that glaciers are melting because of the global warming. So Gangotri Glacier in the Himalayas has started melting. Now, what can we do to reduce air pollution? We can plant trees, right? We can use cleaner fuels like CNG and LPG, okay? And we can stop the use of lead in petrol. We can stop the use of lead in petrol. We can switch to unleaded petrol or unleaded diesel, all right? And yeah, so more or less that's it. And of course, the air that is coming out of chimneys from the chemical power plants, from the industrial power plants, they should be treated. Means they should be treated such that the harmful pollutants can be reduced to the maximum extent before they are being released into the atmosphere. Okay. Say No to Crackers campaign, which was organized by children from many schools, made a big difference to the air pollution levels around Delhi. So this is a plea to you, to all of you guys, wonderful guys, that if you come across, whenever you come across the occasion of Diwali, the festival of Diwali, if it is possible for you, please, all of you, boys, girls, children, teenagers, please say no to crackers, you yourselves, and request your elders to also not indulge in bursting crackers, because Diwali is a festival of light, and if we convert it into a festival of crackers, we are doing nothing but we are basically, we are basically aiding in the increase of air pollution. Okay, and if you remember the previous chapter, we are leading to that that expulsion of not just harmful toxic air pollutants, but apart from that, we are also leading to an emission of light and sound. So this extra display of light and sound is often harmful to animals such as street dogs, cats, even cattle sometimes. All right, so we should be kind to all, each and all. Okay, so if possible, please say no to crackers. It's not just a plea from myself to you, but also, if possible, please encourage others to indulge in the light, in the festival of light, that is Diwali, and not to the so-called festival of bursting crackers. Use of renewable resources, another way that we can curb air pollution, or another way by which we can curb greenhouse effect, increase in the greenhouse effect, or another way in which we can curb global warming is by resorting to the usage of cleaner sources of energy, such as solar energy, the inexhaustible sources. Solar energy, hydropower means harnessing energy from water, all right, and wind energy. These are cleaner sources of energy because they do not lead to combustion. Basically, they do not lead to emission of any harmful gases due to burning. All right, rather they not just conserve our fossil fuels, but they also release in cleaner energy. Okay. Tree plantation, afforestation as compared to deforestation. So you should plant more trees so that the trees, they not just provide you with cleaner, healthier oxygen air, but they also absorb the carbon dioxide as much as they can, and they also provide you with fruits or flowers as bonuses. Okay. So one Mahotsav is a festival. It is celebrated in July every year, where lakhs of trees are planted. Okay, and you don't just have to wait for this festival, right? You can plant whenever you get an opportunity to do so. Okay, and plantation of trees reduces the amount of carbon dioxide, we know that, and there are also some plants which absorb the harmful chemicals. So this is very important. So along with the reduction of carbon dioxide, some plants, they are also able to absorb the some chemical pollutants. All of these beautiful gifts that plants bestow us with is just wonderful. So we should always indulge in planting trees, and we should always say no to deforestation as much as we can. Compost pit. I told you of that in the cause of the air pollution section. If you remember that slide, there was a factor stated such as agriculture. So I explained you there that farmers, some of the crops that go bad, instead of digging a compost pit and letting that those dead and decaying organic matter to be turned into fertile humus, they burn, they incinerate, and burning leads to, of course, an emission of carbon dioxide and other harmful gases. So compost pit is one of the simplest methods of composting, of getting rid of that organic matter. Means you dug a hole like this, okay, deep, and whatever dead organic remains, plants remains, animals remains you have, even the fecal matter, the excreta, all right, you dump all of that into this and you cover it and you just let it rot. You let it rot or you let it decay, or basically, since it is biodegradable, means it can be degraded, it can be decomposed by bacteria, living bacteria. So you let it rot, you let it decay, okay, and ultimately what you are going to get is some soil like texture substance that is fertile for your crops. It's basically a natural, it works like a natural fertilizer, okay, it works like a natural fertilizer, all right. Compost is organic material made of plant matter such as food scrap, yard waste that can be added to the soil to help the plants grow, hence the name natural fertilizer. And let's end this section of air pollution by discussing this, that what is about along from amidst all these options like walking, going by cycle, traveling by bus or other public transport, using a car individually, or traveling by carpool. Discuss each of these options to the quality of air. So of course walking is has to be, and of course walking and going by bicycle has to be the cleanest sources, because you're not emitting any harmful gases. So if there is a nearby area where you can walk to or you can simply bike to, you are free to do that, okay. And or if you want to again help in decrease of air pollution, okay, then you may want to carpool or you may want to use a public transport, because one public transport is not just carrying you, but it is also carrying so many other people, all right, from one place to another, so that the chemicals or the pollutants that are being emitted from that one vehicle is actually for of all those people that are there sitting inside that public transport, be it a bus, be it an auto, okay, and all that, or be it say a cab like Ola or Uber, okay. So public transport is has become a necessity for us now if we want to reduce the carbon emission, okay, and as compared to using a car individually, because if you are say riding alone to one place to another, and you may use a public transport to travel to that same place, to that same distance, then you will be of course increasing the amount of air pollution if you're traveling individually. But if you use a public transport, like I told you, you would be decreasing the amount of air pollution. Same goes for carpool. If you want if four or five of you are going to the same place, only one of you may bring a car and say ki, okay, let's come with me. All right, you don't need to go with our via our individual cars. We can go along together. This will save energy. This will save our time, and this will also help to save the environment a little bit. Okay, so please keep in mind all these options that you have, and always wherever possible, it's not an impulsion, but wherever possible, try to use the cleanest source of energy. We have completed our discussion of air pollution, the important consequences, the important pollutants of air. Further on, we will be discussing about water pollution.